Spoiler warning, this video will cover lots of season 2 in the anime. Actually, not really, just 4 episodes and Odasaku's story. If you haven't watched that part, I highly recommend you click off. Anyway, there are many great shows that have the main character go through a redemption arc of sorts. Vinland Saga, Hell's Paradise, and many more. Vinland Saga is considered probably one of the greatest redemption stories in modern anime, featuring Thorfinn, a character that has killed many people, and his redemption arc. We believe that his redemption arc is after Askeladd's death. He loses his purpose of life, which is killing Askeladd, and he realizes that he doesn't want to kill people. He doesn't want to spread hatred and violence. And he realized that violence shouldn't be the key to solving his problems. Now, Hell's Paradise also follows the same route as Vinland Saga, except it's more like Gabimaru trying to stop killing people because his wife doesn't like killing people. Anyways, both shows are about change. Talks about the redemption of a character and how they stop killing for themselves or the people around them. Odasaku is a different story though. Odasaku was a born killer, he was always a killer, and nothing will change that. However, when we first meet him in the anime, or the web novels, he isn't a killer. He is a pacifist, actually. He doesn't like killing. He was just a kind-hearted man that does his best to make the world a better place. For example, taking in orphans, which I think is something pretty good. But as we learn more about Odasaku, we learn that him being a pacifist and good guy is only for his selfish desires. He wants to prove to himself that he is a good person and he deserves to chase his passions. And we learn that all of his good deeds and him being a pacifist really just fuels his selfish desires. The man that Odasaku meets in a cafe is one of the biggest key turning points in Odasaku's life. After finishing 2 out of 3 books in a trilogy, he meets a man who tells him that the last book in the series is atrocious, and he should be content to have read the first 2. He tells Odasaku that he should write his own stories, something that is perfect. He also mentions that stories are about human lives. It makes Odasaku realize that a murderer who kills people really shouldn't be talking about human lives. In the end, Odasaku realizes the man is right. He just stopped killing people. He decides to be a better person. I think Odasaku is feeling guilt for killing all those people. The man mentions that Odasaku can write the perfect story if he just wrote it himself. The perfect 3rd book in the trilogy. Odasaku doesn't believe that he deserves to write something or do anything he's passionate about. So he tries to better himself, not killing people and taking in orphans to convince himself that he is worthy of creating the perfect story, worthy of being able to pursue his passion. Alas, not everything is sunshine and rainbows for our dear Odasaku. He meets an organization named Mimic. The leader Gide has the exact same ability as Odasaku, being able to tell 5 to 6 seconds into the future. I don't know if it's 5 to 6, I'm just guessing. Just assuming. What a lovely coincidence. Anyways, Gide and the rest of his organization is looking for a death in battle. Everyone in Mimic really lost the motivation to live after the Great War or something. And he realizes that if he wants to die, it must be someone that is worth killing him, which is Odasaku. Hooray! I guess. At first, Odasaku ignores Gide's request. I mean, who would want to kill some bum? I mean, nobody really cares about Gide. He's just asking Odasaku to kill him for his own selfish desires. Anyways, he says how he's always wanted to be a novelist, and to be a novelist means to give up all the bad things, all the killing, all the bad deeds, the murders. How can you write a story about people if you kill them, right? So he goes back to the curry shop. The curry shop owner's dying body, soaked in blood, collapsed on the floor. He panics. He rushes to the kids' room. None of them are there. He sees the threat Mimic gave them, looks outside the window. He sees Sakura screaming to him, screaming for help. In shock, he dives out the window and runs towards the car, only to see it explode up in his face. This is a turning point for Odasaku. I like to interpret this moment as the moment Odasaku realizes he can't have anything in life. This really describes 3 sections, just like how the book has 3 sections, 3 books, 3 stories in the trilogy. The first 2, his murderous personality, the way he killed so many people, is the first book. Second book is his pacifistic nature and trying to go back to the good side. And the third book, the most atrocious one, him going back to the darkness, him murdering people again, not caring about people's lives. Now, he can't accept or convince himself that he is worthy enough to be a novelist. Even his good deeds like saving orphans will still cause him suffering. He watches the kids that he loves so dearly go up in a puff of smoke. Now, he goes back on everything he wanted to achieve. He goes back on being a novelist. He decides, if I can't have anything in life, nobody can, basically. He storms the Mimic headquarters, kills everyone, kills Gide, kind of, but they just kill each other. Now, when Dazai comes to save Odasaku, quote-unquote, but he still dies anyways, he tells Dazai to be on the side that saves people. If both sides are the same, then choose to become a good person. Save the weak, protect the orphaned. You might not see a great difference between right and wrong, but saving others is just a bit wonderful. That was his last advice to Dazai. He knows full well that Dazai doesn't know the difference between good and bad, so he tells him to choose good, as you will feel just a tiny bit better saving others. I think one quote that highlights his transformation is something said by Odasaku himself. People live to save themselves. It's something they realize right before they die. He doesn't realize this, but the pacifistic mentality, the protecting of the weak, the saving of orphans, is really just him trying to save himself from the darkness that is evil, that is the mafia, that is killing. He truly doesn't want to kill anymore, and him going to the good side is really just him attempting to save himself. He just doesn't realize that he is doing it for himself. I think what we can learn from Odasaku as a viewer is that the good will always think they're good, and the evil will also think that they're doing the right thing, that they're the good guys. There are 2 sides of the same coin, truly. So, be kind to others. Help others during their lowest points. Help the struggling, or even the little things, like holding the door for another person, saying thank you after you receive something. Try to be on the side of the good. You'll feel a little bit better.